If you want to attract anything that has to do with love, beauty, and wealth, you go to a water being. As a woman, you're supposed to have it all. How to attract a rich man and actually having him propose and marry you, while also increasing substantially your monthly income and overall health. This is the topic of today's video. I am Miss Pravala. Everyone calls me MP. I help women understand that through ancient rituals, using potions, and overall goddess spirituality, you are meant to have it all. You're supposed to have a life of no compromise, meaning that the moment that you connect with the timeline of you being the optimal version of yourself, your goddess self, the moment you identify the curses, blocks, karma, and any other implants that have been stuck on your body, your energy body, and how to remove them, how to get rid of them so that you have an open road and basically become a magnet to all of those things, it is absolutely a divine entitlement turned into an actual 3D material, physical, wealth, fulfilling, thriving experience. So as a woman, you're supposed to have it all. I'm speaking specifically to women because spirituality, and especially the topic of manifestation, is different from men to women. There is no one size fits all, and actually even for every single woman the case is going to be different. The human body is attached to an actual auric body, an energy body. Actually, there's several layers to the energy body. There's a monad overseeing the whole thing, and specific energies, what we call in occultism entities attached to you, your spiritual family. Now, everything is spiritual, whether you consider yourself to be spiritual or not. You have to admit that there is an invisible part of you. Just consider the fact that you're breathing, that you have an actual physical body that is self-engineered and autonomous. You know, never in the world have you woken up in the morning and told yourself, let me start breathing now, and press the button so that your heart starts pumping. Same thing for all of your other organs. The body is autonomous, and it is sort of the physical materialization of a software, so to speak, which we don't see. Scientists would call it the quantum field. It is much bigger than that. It's really a term that they use for lack of better word. Us in the physical are basically an avatar, a character, a physical character that we're playing, which is actually living in a simulation, sort of like in a video. You know, my daughter, who is 14 years old, almost 15, plays a game called The Sims. I've never played any type of video game, so I may be wrong in my assumptions, but I see her oftentimes asking me for money, to buy clothes, to recharge her characters, her families, and all of that. So this is kind of similar. Every person who chooses to incarnate or reincarnate, for the most part, is going to come with specific characteristics, specific curses that they chose to honor, specific blessings and gifts that they bring from their origin, their source. Where is the divine aspect of them from? And that group of entities, what type of characteristics do they carry? That is why westernized spirituality will use terms like, I'm a Venusian, someone is an Arcturian, someone is an Andromedan, etc. In occultism, it goes much deeper, but actually much simpler. I, for example, come from an ethnic group in my country called the Mermaid Tribe. So we relate directly in terms of our divine origin to the underwater world, the spirits, the entities, or the people that are in those worlds. Because of course, if you think about water, you also have to distinguish different types of water seen with our human eyes. You have sweet waters, rivers, waterfalls, lakes. You have the ocean. You have different types also of in-between waters that are in between oceans, etc., etc. And you have a deeper layer. So those beings, of course, are not human, because humanity is tied to the 3D. It's tied to Earth. We are the only type of beings, the only types of entities that incarnated in this form, in this shape, okay, as physical beings. That's why most of the encounters that you're going to have when you acknowledge that you are spiritual are going to be with otherworldly beings, meaning beings that our physical bodies are not engineered, programmed to see. The moment we start spiritually awakening, and the moment we start acknowledging that there is something beyond what we are here, mere physical beings, we start connecting with that invisible aspect of us. And actually, when I say spiritual awakening, it could just be the acknowledgement that there are universal cosmic laws. Scientists started with laws like the law of gravity. I mean, if I'm doing this, it falls, right? There is a force that pushes it downwards. It's not me pushing it. The law of gravity. Those are laws of this realm and this planet. There are many laws that you probably know if you come to watch someone like me, or your algorithm brings you to someone like me. It means that you probably already have encountered content on such topic. So many laws that we know of. The main one, the most popular one in the West, is the law of attraction. A less popular one, but one that is catching up, is the law of assumption. But you have many laws: law of preparation, the law of one, the law of correspondence, many other laws that are under the umbrella of the universal cosmic laws. Basically laws that we have to understand in order to remove any sort of emotional attachment to what is going on in our lives. So if you want to attract anything that has to do with love, beauty, and wealth, you go to a water being. The West calls them, or calls us, mermaid. That's why we're called the Mermaid Tribe. You cannot go to a being of fire or a being of earth to provide you with that. It's not just possible. Every single person is tied to their initial origin, their essence, as a god or a goddess that has incarnated here to experience this physical life. So you come to someone like me, who is not just someone who is a natural manifester of money, beauty, and love, but someone who's also has been appointed and anointed with the gift of blessing others when they have a handicap in that department. Do not come to me to chase dragons. I will send you to someone else. Potions are nothing new. If you've watched my previous videos, if you haven't, go back to my channel and explore. This is a sacred space. But basically, potions are probably the oldest tools that have been used by people like me in order to help those who are ready on their path to become sacred and to attract sacred love, sacred beauty, and sacred money. Because not all money is equal. Not all love is equal. You go to a regular witch of the corner of your street, who may actually, because in the underworlds, they're as above, so below. You know this saying taken from the text called the Emerald Tablet of Thoth. Just like here, there are mermaids that are evil, just like there are mermaids that are divine. Same. I will tell you later stories of our world, even if you don't believe in that, just to listen to as sort of a mythological type of stories to understand where our energy is from. But you will hear stories that are actually used by mainstream religions, monotheistic religions, talking about a bad mermaid, talking about an evil husband that comes and takes and sucks all of your juices and curses you. Yes, that does exist. So if you're not going to someone who's been appointed and anointed with those powers, you take the risk of, first of all, someone who is lurking after you, your gifts. So you will go to an initiation. It happens so many times. You go and you want to get initiated. You pay $10,000, $20,000 to get a proper initiation, and you go there, and that person who is a self-proclaimed guru is actually working with entities of low vibrations. Those work really fast, by the way. Any demonic entity is going to work very fast because they're closer to the density of this dimension. So when you want fast luck, fast money, fast fame, fast anything, just know that you go to such entities. However, whatever they give to you is going to be 1/10 of what they're taking from you. Keep that in mind. Secondly, when you go to someone, they have to acknowledge that whatever the desire you have is actually something that is part of your timeline, meaning that they can decipher, they know from looking at you and the entities that show up in consultation, they can tell that this was yours in the first place. We just need to remove the curses, get you going, get you starting, using your potion and the other rituals that I tell you to do diligently. The potion is a prescription of at least 6 months. The full transformation will take 1 year. 1 year is nothing. Even if you come to me at 18 years old, carrying karma, burden, trauma, curses, whether bloodline, generational curses, curses from being exposed to a highly cursed environment through media, social media, your community, movies, etc. Or just trauma experience in your upbringing, in your family, childhood, and all of that. Black magic, or just exposed, like I said, to an environment that is auspicious to really bad beings, really bad entities to come and suck your energy. If you want really deep understanding of how the forces work, understand spirituality from an occultist, not from a woo-woo internet guru, take my spiritual course. It's on my website. Okay? So, my client wants and is entitled, it's part of her timeline that we're going to tap on. It's an entitlement that she's going to meet a rich man, and that she's also going to have an increase in her income so that she lives even herself as what she received. We're going to open up her money. It's the same thing. The womb where our money comes from is the same. It's meant to create wealth and sacred sexuality. So this is her first potion. This first month, we're going to focus on decluttering her energy body, the curses, and all of that. Okay? The first potion is to open herself up for wealth, for any type of wealth that is hers. We're opening her money trunk, we call it. in occultism. What is the money, the wealth, and the experiences that are already hers in the first place that she has not had access to? So we're going to open herself to wealth. She's going to use the planner. Every client of mine is going to have results, full transformation. First, we start with the inner transformation, but then we're going to go to the actual physical, visible transformation. That's why it takes time. I could just be here and make you one candle spell and say, hey, it's done. Hope for the best, wish you luck. And leave you either with more problems or actually not even doing anything. I mean, do you have a means to determine whether someone did their job and as an occultist, as a witch? Probably not. So my goal is to have lasting transformation so that she doesn't attract a karmic rich man who's going to hurt her, who's going to put demonic stuff on her, who's going to suck up all of her energy and then divorce her after 3 years, leaving her empty, which happens a lot. We want her to be a magnet, meaning that she's going to transform into her physical goddess self, so that as per the law of attraction, there's no other way around it. You attract what you are, not what you want. So when she's surrounded by her divine entities and when she becomes her divine self, an actual goddess in the flesh, a hyper feminine, there's no other way around it. As per the law, she's going to attract someone who's a match to that. That's why I'm dealing with both the energy, so we remove also the emotional triggers that she's going to get, because they're going to come to the surface this first month. The first 3 months are really highly triggering if you really apply yourself. And that's why we need to deal with the programming, the mental subconscious programming, so that she does scripting, journaling, writing her dreams, becoming conscious, changing her habits, the way she eats, the way she dresses, her daily routine, etc., etc. So she actually experiencing a holistic transformation. Okay, so enough talk. This is going to be a long video. I am showing you how I assemble the potion. Of course, the potion process takes 28 days. So I'm not showing you the behind the scene. Today I'm assembling her potion so that we can ship it to her. I'm also going to give her a couple of gifts, some incense that she's going to burn in her home, and also potentially a bath that she's going to do. Okay, now let's start with core ingredients. They're already mixed on this here. This is the core of her potion, the main formulation of her potion, but we're going to add other elements to the sauce. So this here is her emerald, because this is the stone that I am using. It's a precious stone. If you haven't heard of emerald, a green stone, which is actually very popular amongst mermaids. We work specifically with precious stones, gold, diamond, which is a precious stone, but diamond also as a core. So this goes, of course, today, diamond is the purest in its human material form, but also the most expensive today. So I am placing this here. This is her emerald. Of course, everything has been already activated. The bottle has been activated. I already put some stuff in it, and it is resting on this so that it is in grounding, protected during the whole process of the formulation and the creation of the potion. Going to purify my hands. Of course, every time you start any type of spiritual practice, you're going to take a shower and then put your protections, call upon your entities, or at least open the temple of your entities if you have a temple in your home, so that nothing else is lurking at your process. So let's start. This here is saffron. Why am I using saffron? Because saffron is the royal marriage spice. It has been used for thousands of years in South Asia, the Middle East, and North Africa. Thankfully, I am initiated in Lalita and Ishtar, so I am allowed to use this spice. I have permission to use this spice. I'm going to use a couple of these, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. If you're really tuned into the video now, your body should be tingling a little bit, because energy is very powerful. It transcends time, space. That is why a lot of demonic entities are able to pierce through the screen when you're watching your TikTok videos, your music videos, etc., etc. So if you are a little bit open, if your portals, your chakras are open, most likely you're feeling a little tingling. Let me know in the comment section where, if you're feeling the tingling, and where you're actually feeling the tingling sensation. And I will answer and tell you what it means at your spiritual level. Where are you, or where are you experiencing issues? Only 3 drops of this because it could be poisonous. So I'm also going to add for her, because even though I talked about time, understanding and respecting time, I know that it is almost impossible for anyone, especially someone who is commissioning someone like me, who uses premium magic, premium spirits. You want to also feel and see fast transformation. So Moldavite is going to provide that. If you're new to my work, I have 3 main ingredients that I use as the core formulation of every single one of my potions, and that is, if you know, write it down in the comment. I use resin, mainly 2 resins, oud and okume, as my energy amplifier. I use gold as my energy conductor, just like in physics. It is actually the same process. We're doing alchemy. So some people use brass, some people use copper. I use both. But my main conductor of energy is gold, 18 karat gold. Because if you've watched my other videos, you know the reason. I could use 24K gold, but 24K is pure gold, which is not sturdy, which is not strong in energy. If you buy a 24 karat piece of jewelry, it's less sturdy, it's a little softer, a little more pliable. 18K gold is a majority of pure gold with a little bit of copper. So it is perfect for what I'm doing because it's much more strong. So we want the energy to move faster with the GPS that we're giving it. That's why 18K compared to 24 is a better option. And of course, you just saw me using precious stones. So I will use either or precious stones. Mainly for my regular clients, I use ruby and emerald. I also use tektites, or we'll call them meteorites, specifically meteorites. The one you saw me using here is Moldavite, which is a masculine meteorite. So I barely use gemstones. They're not for our entities. We're not really gemstones. I mean, you can see I have some citrine here. supporting the work today. However, goddesses like me use mainly precious stones or otherworldly. Gemstones grow from the ground, from earth. Meteorites come from the ether, from the cosmos, from other places. Or for higher level clients, I will use higher level stones up to diamonds. Now, I'm gonna add this. And if you can tell, my custom potions, actually, this is really beautiful. I will show it to you this way. I make everything by hand, as you know, so even the bottle designs is done by me. No one can touch your potion when you commission me for a work, okay? So I have to be both a real beauty artisan as well as a potion maker. So you see that I have actually changed the bottle. This bottle is bigger for the custom. My signature potions were this way. I'm actually contemplating maybe to modify a little bit the formulation also for the signature potion, so I can put this here. But basically the quantity of the custom is 2.5 times more than the quantity of the signature. Okay, so custom potions are premium in the service but also in the quantity. The goal is to also understand that you can't be stingy. A lot of my clients were stingy using the potions. I had a client telling me, have you had your potion for 2 years? Now it smells a little weird. Can I still use it? My potions are for 1 month only. They can last up to 6 weeks. Beyond that, throw them. Not in the garbage, but in the way I will tell you to throw them. You're supposed to shower yourself with magic. Indulge in it. The entities and the energies that I put in the potion have a time expiration. So you're supposed to use the potions the way you're told to use the potion, meaning you use the potion twice a day, morning and evening, and throughout the day. When you do your 10-minute affirmations, you're also going to do touch-ups. Does it make sense? This here keeps you just like a church or a mosque or any type of temple. It keeps you anointed. Haven't you noticed? You go to a church or you go to a temple, you go to any type of spiritual or praying place, even sometimes you go to a yoga place, you will notice that they burn incense and they use oils. I mean, my Kundalini yoga, before starting and after we finish the yoga class, she puts oil on our ajna, okay? Sometimes in the palms, here on our wrists as well. So you need to keep being anointed throughout the day, specifically when you're just starting, because your energy body is not ready. If you're just using your potion whenever or once a day, or not taking it as an actual sacred self-seduction ritual, you're wasting your money with me. So wealth and love is actually coming from the same space, the womb. That is why in what Hinduism calls the Tantra, for the Dakinis, pupils of the temples of the Tantra, the Dakinis of Lalita, the Dakinis of students of how to maneuver sexual energy, how to deal with Kundalini, the Kundalini spirits. It is important that you start treating your womb like the producer of your money. It's very important. So you need to be stingy with whom you have intimate encounters. Your body, and you only have one, at least one per life, is sacred. So if you start giving away your body for the sake of my body, my choice, you're messing up the work that your body is supposed to do. Because a sexual encounter has to be done in a sacred way. A sexual encounter has to be done in a monogamous relationship. Unless you have agreed to the vow of being a sexual healer. In the school of Ishtar, the sexual healers were the sacred prostitute who were basically performing sexual acts with men who had enough money to pay for it. And they basically received money in exchange of donating their wealth potential. So, I'm donating my womb by saying, I don't know how to awaken my wealth in a spiritual way, so I'm just going to have regular money. So you had women living in harems who are honoring this vow, were, and actually are today in certain places, honoring this vow. And you also had prostitutes. You see that a lot in the school, in the goddess spirituality of Pumbashira, or Pumbajira, like some of them will call her. What is happening in those schools is that Pumbashira became the guardian of those women who became so depleted of their energies that they had to become angry and vengeful. And actually, in the initiations to Pumbashira in Angola and places like my country, Gabon, Central Africa, where this mermaid was called upon, invoked, and activated first, there are several leagues, and actually one of them is the League of the Oshuns, but it is only for that part of Africa. In places like Romania, Bulgaria, where you have the Bohemian Pumbashira, they're most likely witches, fortune tellers, and younger girls who marry older and rich men. So not all wealth is good. When you agree to being promiscuous, as in, this is my entitlement, I'm a feminist, I use my body the way I want, men do it, why can't I do it? You're performing the act of a sacred healer, a sacred prostitute, for free. In my spiritual course, I'll go deeper in those topics. But there is nothing glorifying in being promiscuous. Besides, I'm gonna add a little more because I want it to be like, see, there's like a tiny 2 millimeter. So I'm adding a little more. So you need to be really protective of your sexuality. It's important. Who is this person? What's their family like? What kind of entities they're coming with? There needs to be a real, thorough scan of a man before allowing them to enter you, right? I'm adding some gold dust. Why? Because whenever you perform the sexual act, your goddess is actually performing that act with their god. And your sacred husband is also performing an act with their sacred wives. If that person shows up with demonic husbands and they're full of curses, their god is not awakened, meaning that they're not in their god aspect, being a provider, being an ambitious man, a man who's expanding in his masculinity, a protector. then you're just basically chasing your own goddess away, your own sacred husband away, and you leave space for opposite that is going to take ownership of your physical body. The bottle is clean and washed, and I'm going to add one last thing, and it is a pheromone. So pheromones are animal-based hormones, hormonal attraction devices. I don't know how you call them really, but basically, if as a healer you have a soul contract with the animal kingdom, you have permission to spiritually work with pheromones, you add them. That's why my potions are so complete. You become a full magnet. So now she's ready. If you see on my website, you will see that I talk about potions as in perfumes are used to make you smell good. Potions are meant to make your aura irresistible. And this here is an actual gemstone, because I do use gemstones sometimes to dress my bottles. It's called clinochlore, and this stone will help my client harmonize with her goddess. This stone makes you harmonize with your spiritual being. Some people in mainstream areas of spirituality call it your higher self, but that higher self could be anything and anyone that you channel at some point because of the law of one. But this one is really to harmonize with her goddess, so that whenever she's using the potion, she feels that beauty. But also using the Moldavite can shake you and be very brutal in the transformation. You can actually experience a lot of discomfort and even feeling sleepless and feeling like you're feeling those entities, you're feeling the spirit of Moldavite working. So it could be kind of a trauma for the physical body because your mind will not comprehend what's going on. That's why a lot of people who use Moldavite decide to fully isolate. They become weird looking, more like assets or whatever, because there's no harmony, or people who want something so fast that they go to this specific meteorite. I'm using this here to help her really experience the whole thing in harmony, almost to feel that the whole potion experience is just a placebo, so to speak. The transformation happens so naturally that she even herself doesn't see it, doesn't observe it. It's people who are going to tell her, hey, you've changed. It's going to come from the outside. So this is the potion, it's ready. She's gorgeous. I'm going to add the finishing touches. So I'm putting the ribbon. The potion will be basically sealed. And after that, I'm going to make her, like I told you, a couple of gifts. She's a custom potion. I want her to be pampered all the way. I'm even going to gift her a money hypnosis session and moving her money blocks, so that I can help her as well with the attainment as a mental process. It's very important that the whole thing be holistic, because if you deal purely with energy and you don't take care of the mind, then you're going to doubt a lot of the things you're going to perceive, or you're going to chase results. And the moment you start chasing results, that's it. It's bad, because it is an inner transformation. You have to honor the fact that your subtle body is going to need whatever time it needs to get rid of whatever was clogging the manifestation. You know what I mean? So it's really, really important to be mindful of not be lurking for results. Also, you're working with divine entities. You don't want them to feel that in reality, you just want the transformation. You don't care about your awakening itself. And what would happen is that they would basically make my potion null, and they will leave and leave space for the other entities that ownership of your body before we started this work. Be really careful not to be a spiritual manipulator, because the spirit realm knows best. And if you were sent to someone like me, it means that you understand how dangerous, first of all, spirituality is, but also you want to work with a specific type of beings. You don't want karmic money. You don't want karmic marriage. You don't want to suffer as a result. You know, like some people say commonly, I prefer to cry in a Rolls Royce than to cry in a slum. Good for you. I would rather not cry at all. If that desire was yours in the first place, and mind you, if you come to me and say, I want to be a millionaire, and I don't see it on your timeline, and I say, no, I will tell you, I won't take your money and then risk of cursing myself, accumulating or, getting bad karma myself. I value myself too much, right? So you also have to know whether whatever you want is even yours in the first place, which is something that people don't really like to hear. Most people don't like to hear that. When you tell them, nope, it's not yours to have. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, you're not the person, or you're not efficient, because they would rather be lied to and hope to have the Instagram life than actually living their optimal timeline. The timeline where they're going to have health, beauty, money, maybe not being a billionaire, but money. Being comfortable. The experience of blessed money is definitely much better than the experience of cursed money, because someone like me would know, having people who have immense wealth coming to me and being completely miserable, feeling attacked, having psychological issues, carrying all types of burdens, being surrounded by all types of bad people. It is because they have a lot of money, but it's cursed. Look at celebrities. A lot of celebrities are cursed. They have the money, but you wouldn't trade their life, their actual life as they live it, not what they show you on TV. So, potion is done. This is it. I'm going to push her aside. I'm going to make her incense that she's going to burn. I'm going to give her the instruction on how to use it. This is pure resin. Not every client gets this, okay? Some clients don't get anything because it's not for them to get. For sure, I will always give you instructions on how to prepare for the potion, how to cleanse for the potion. Because the way you are, for sure, you can't receive the potion. You can't. It's just not possible. You have to prepare spiritually. So I will tell you which bath to take, what to do. So I put 3 because she's going to do this one for 3 nights. And She also gets this. Actually, today a couple of clients of mine get this. It's not going to be the same recipe, but both of them are getting this. She's also getting some zingu that she's going to chew. Let me get her some pretty ones. So she's going to chew on them when she's doing her invocation. So this is it. This is her, I'm going to package it much better, but off camera. This is the incense that she's going to use. And this is for her bath. This is a blend that I've already made. She's going to do this bath also. I will explain to her how she's going to do it. And of course, the bath aligns to what she wants. But like I said, we're not rushing. This is her first month. She's going to be in treatment for 6 months. So 3 layers. That's it. This is what she's getting. The incense, her bath, the main character, her goddess potion, and this here, the Soft Life Planner. Okay, this was a long video, but as you know, this is my preferred format, really. I'm still going to continue to do lifestyle vlogs once in a while. I like to do them during the summer because I have to admit, I have a pretty amazing life. Not that I'm the richest woman on earth. That's not my goal. However, you know, just this summer, I went to 9 destinations. I had the most amazing time. Like I said, you come to me when you want beauty, money, and romance. So all of that nicely packaged in a potion. Okay, I love you. Manifest lavish imperial opulence. I'm absolutely available if you want to start on your potion prescription, on your potion journey. Just go to my website. My website is very easy. It's all explained in there. You click the button, purchased, I get the order, and we start working. Okay, just know that you're worth it. You're worth to live a life where you have it all.